I know words. I have the best words.
This is All the Best Words with Matt Murphy and Cameron Smith.
And see what the blue lights look like. Just the blue lights.
That could be
like
interesting.
Some really nice mood.
For those who don't know, I wear sunglasses when we do some of these because it's so bright in here.
It's
it
really
is like
bright.
surface of the sun.
It's really bright, and I picked up my sunglasses moments before we started the episode, mainly to screw around with Cameron, but now I'm thinking, wow, there's a reason why you do
this.
This, huh?
It is actually
Nice.
so much. It just looks better.
Mm.
Right.
And plus, you don't see the bags.
You look like Weekend at Bernie's. I love it.
So, hello and welcome to All the Best Words, another episode. We'll get you in and out in about 12 or 14 minutes. We'll talk about topics of the day, pop culture, whatever comes to our minds. My name is Matt Murphy, and I say all the best words.
My name's Cameron Smith, and I write all the best words.
And this is All the Best Words. So, you went first last episode. If I'm not mistaken, I'll go first this time. This is sensitive, but my word is honor.
Honor. That's a good one.
Honor. So, here's why this is sensitive. I've been doing what I do for a long time. You've been writing columns in a variety of national and local publications for a long, long time, and I've been talking on the radio for a long time.
Right.
And I am sensitive to the delicate separation between the public and private life of a public servant.
Yeah.
An elected official.
Yes.
So the reason I bring up honor is because it feels to me like public officials get it a little bit one-sided when it comes to this, that they love talking about words like honor and integrity and character when it comes to their public service. And they bring these things up, and they're begging me to bring things up that I normally would not. And here's where I put a fine point on it.
Okay.
The 7th Congressional District in the state of Tennessee, where you and I are broadcasting from, has just opened up. Congressman Mark Green, who has served with distinction, not only in his capacity as a United States congressman, but previous to that, I mean, he's a medical doctor. He was in the military. And by all accounts, his public service to his country is well documented, and it is honorable, to say the least.
Sure.
And we applaud him for that. So he decides to step down as a representative. He started to do it before last election. He actually announced that he was not running for re-election. Apparently, behind the scenes, people convinced him not to do that, to please run for re-election, and he was eventually convinced that that was the best course of action. But then recently, for those who don't know the backstory, he announced before the Big Beautiful Bill became the Big Beautiful Law, hey, I'm out. As soon as we get that passed and as soon as we get that done, I'm resigning my post immediately. Yeah. And so that calls for a special election. And there are a lot of people in the 7th Congressional District that are, stepping up and wanting to take that seat, to include a good friend of Congressman Mark Green's, Matt Van Epps. And there are many, many other candidates. My purpose here is that Mark Green endorsed Matt Van Epps. And in the first sentence of the endorsement, he talked about honor. And I'm not here to get into Mark Green's personal life, but I am asking you, Cameron, and we've been friends a long time,
mm-hmm.
Does that not open the door? Because for those that understand some of the backstory that went on to his decision-making process, it is very personal. There's a lot of personal stuff that went into that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people, if they knew some of that information, would question some of the things that they know about Mark Green.
Yeah, some of the family dynamics and things that have gone
I'm
on.
not here to get into any of that, but what I would say is it's frustrating because if you start trying to play it both ways, it's almost as if you're begging me to bring up that, which I don't necessarily want to bring up. But if you throw out words like honor and character and integrity when you are trying to push a candidate to replace you in a congressional seat, it just puts me in a weird position. That's all.
So, like you, as somebody who's a public figure, in that we are where people can criticize us, they can hear your work, they can read mine, they know what's going on. the way I look at it, is particularly as a Christian, is there's no one righteous, not even one. And so my whole record and life, my choices, I teach my boys, the choices I make, there are consequences in the world. And so I have to deal with those consequences. And I've never liked the idea that politicians feel like they can sort of shield private life when they want to, and they can open it up when it's beneficial. So, on all those mailers, you get to see the family and the kids.
I was thinking of that
and
exact thing.
And my attitude is, if you put your family and kids on that mailer, then you're saying the way you treat them is part of who you are and how you represent me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I take that real seriously. And, I've got personal failings and things that I've messed up on. And if I get called on that, the answer needs to be, hey, I messed up and I didn't do as well as I should have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our politicians need to do the same. And we shouldn't troll politicians just to troll them, right? We shouldn't harass them when they're at the grocery. We don't need to be those kind of people.
Right.
But we all know that the biggest part of the problem in politics is people create a fake caricature of who they are. This is playing out in Texas in real time right now with Ken Paxton and his wife getting a divorce.
Yep.
There are personal dynamics that absolutely pertain to your ability to effectively represent the people in your state and your district and your community. And so I think it's fair game, and you got to talk about, be respectful, treat them as you would like to be treated, but to say that's off limits, is it?
Well, and here's how you avoid it, and here's how Matt Murphy doesn't bring it up once, is that if these candidates run on their own merit and they don't rely on endorsements for the resigning sitting congressperson and use words like honor and integrity, then none of this comes up. But when it does happen that way, if you go out and you're knocking on doors and you say, hey, the honorable so-and-so has endorsed me, yada, 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 which I think endorsements are used too much anyway, then you kind of run into that it's almost an ethical dilemma.
Well, for me, it's you don't get to pick your successor. And there's a tendency in politics to say, well, I'll endorse my
I don't
chief
like
of
that
staff,
either. That's
my best friend, the guy I like.
Yeah.
Here's who you should pick next. I'm leaving you.
Right.
But I'm going to tell
early
you.
too, by the way.
Right. I ran and now I'm leaving midterm to pursue another opportunity. But here's who you should pick.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
A little odd. It's not your seat. It's my seat.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
Belongs to the people.
Your word.
Oh, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Globalize. As in globalize the intifada. And we are laughing at this because you know what I'm going to say.
Is it ma'am? Is it ma'am?
Mom Donnie.
Mom Donnie?
Yeah, I think is that. So this is the
Go mom and then Donnie?
Yeah, MAMDANI.
Mom Donnie.
This is the Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City. And he said he's going to discourage the use of the phrase globalize the intifada. This is an anti-Zionist sort of battle cry that it's tone deaf to have a Democratic nominee that this is a phrase that he's repeatedly used. He's going to discourage its use in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, where the second largest population of Jews is outside of Israel?
New York City.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So maybe the fact that you're like, I'm going to discourage its use.
But didn't he also say, like, but I understand the underlying sentiment of what the people are trying to say, so I'm not going to out and out say no more. I mean, what?
And this guy.
The underlying sentiment is, and I even hesitate bringing it up on this platform because I don't want to get, like, shadow banned, but it's, it's from the river to the sea, right?
Yeah. I mean,
push them all in the Mediterranean Sea, and then they'll drown to death, and you won't have to worry about them.
It is very much not a just sort of a normal political thing, right? And it certainly doesn't pertain to New York City politics, right? I mean, this is a global issue. You're going to be mayor of New York City, and the fact that you can't even say, like, yeah, I should not have done that, but this guy's a socialist. He is, I mean, on so many fronts, the Democratic Party has just lost its mind, and New York here deserves everything they're going to get.
Do you think I mean, you think straight up he's going to get elected
I think my understanding is Cuomo's now going to run
as an independent?
And I think between the non-socialist Democrats and the remaining Republicans,
I'm
think
a little
Cuomo's got a good
confused
chance.
because, and I admit that I'm ignorant on this, but Eric Adams is the mayor of New York.
Mhm.
Is he term limited, or did he run as a Republican? I'm confused what happened, and I admit that I have not looked it up.
I don't know. I do know that when I saw this,
Oh my goodness!
I was just like, man, you know where you're running, right?
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, and it's also the free market economic engine of the United States of America still is, believe it or not, in New York. And I understand that the argument could be made that it's really flyover country, but you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
So there's that, and he's an anti-free market, anti-capitalist. He's a socialist. He's a self-avowed. He also ticked off. I looked this up, and just in New York City, not the metro area, but just in the 5 boroughs, there are 800,000 Italian Americans that live in that community. And I don't know if you saw this, but it popped up that like 3 or 4 years ago during the whole, BLM Summer of Love, he recorded himself flipping the bird as a Christopher Columbus statue was being raised. And he was like, screw that, get him out of here, get out of here.
Colonialism, all that
right,
fun
and
stuff.
all of those things, which doesn't really sit well with Italian Americans because they're like, hey, that's kind of our guy. So you compound some of these things. Maybe I have too much hope, but I'm like hopeful that if the Jewish population, just reads what he says, and if the Italian American population just read what he says, I mean, maybe there's enough sensible people. I can't believe I'm about to say this, that will vote for Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah. but this is
Who's
where,
now the sane person.
right.
The guy that ordered the nursing home, that people returned to the nursing homes and killed as a result. And I don't think he did it necessarily, but he killed people.
So this is what's
He's the same
happened, and this is a bigger discussion that we'll have to get into in other episodes. But the ideological window has shifted so radically, so quickly that it's people like Cuomo and Nancy Pelosi that are establishment Democrats. They're the centrist Democrats. Somebody like John Fetterman that you and I find some common ground with is a radical.
Well, and a chameleon like Gavin Newsom, who has said and done some of the more radical things in the last 5 or 8 years, who recognizes that that's not going to play well, even in purple or blue states in the middle of the country. He's trying to pull back, and they're destroying him for the pullback. And he's just pulling back to where Democrats were 6, 7, 8 years ago when they said, well, maybe men shouldn't compete in women's sports.
Yeah.
And they're destroying him for that.
Because he's saying things like, yeah, I got a kid, maybe a 9-year-old shouldn't define their gender identity permanently.
My Lord, did you hear that answer, though? The hemming and the hawing? Yeah. Like the question, for those who missed it, Governor Gavin Newsom was asked a question, should an 8-year-old be allowed to get gender reassignment surgery? And he's like, well, I hear you. I got a 9-year-old. Yeah, you hear me. You're not answering the question.
Right.
This
stuff isn't complicated. Until the Democratic Party gets over whatever this is, I just think they're not going to be competitive because right now it's super weird and we're not Trump.
They're not globalizing the infatata. They're globalizing the insanity.
Yes. They are very good at that.
They are incredibly good at that. We hope you enjoy all of these episodes of All the Best Words. Tell a friend or a neighbor. Give us a little like. We appreciate that. Any feedback is, we read all of those things, and we appreciate each and every one of them. For Cameron Smith, I'm Matt Murphy. This has been All the Best Words.
See you.